The air in the intensive care unit. It was thick and humming a sterile symphony of beeps and sighs that does little to soothe a parent's soul. I was there, numb with terror, to see my 12-year-old daughter, Chloe. Chloe had been rushed to the hospital after a sudden, violent seizure, and the initial diagnosis was devastating: a rare, rapidly progressing autoimmune encephalopathy, an inflammation of the brain that the doctors admitted they were struggling to control. I was being ushered toward her room, my vision blurred with grief and lack of sleep, when I was intercepted by a nurse named Elinor. Elinor wasn't Chloe's primary nurse, but she caught my eye with a look that was urgent, almost conspiratorial. She pulled me aside, her voice dropping to a barely audible whisper, her eyes darting toward the head physician, Dr. Thorne, who was standing across the hall, reviewing charts with a detached air. "Mr. Jensen." She breathed, her grip surprisingly firm on my arm. "Doctor, Thorne is not telling you everything. I know you're terrified, but you have to be calm. When you go in there, I need you to just trust me and watch." I stared at her, utterly bewildered. Was she suggesting medical malpractice? Was my daughter being poisoned? Elinor didn't wait for my reaction. She pressed a small, folded piece of paper into my hand, her fingers cold and trembling, and then, with a curt nod, she melted back into the flow of staff, disappearing down a side corridor. I unfolded the paper as I entered Chloe's room, my heart hammering against my ribs. The note, scrawled hastily in tiny block capitals, contained 3 instructions: **1. Check the date on the Roman 4 bag. 2. Ask Dr. Thorne specifically about the Phase 3 trial. 3. Do not let him discharge her tomorrow. ***. I looked from the note to my daughter. Tubes everywhere, pale and motionless. And then to Dr. Thorne, the respected head of pediatric neurology. Why would a nurse risk her career to deliver a message like this? What devastating secret was being hidden in my daughter's chart? And why was a strange nurse whispering a warning that suggested my daughter was not just sick, but actively in danger? My whole world tilted on its axis. Was I fighting a rare disease, or was I fighting the very hospital staff entrusted with my child's life? Was I right to instantly suspect the renowned doctor simply because an anonymous nurse, a total stranger, delivered a cryptic warning, or should I have dismissed her note as the ramblings of an overstressed employee? Tell me if you would have immediately trusted that note, or if you would have protected the doctor's reputation. To truly grasp the impossible pressure I was under, the chilling realization that I was about to go to war against my daughter's medical team, you need to understand the kind of man Dr. Thorne was, and why his authority was so absolute. My name is Michael Jensen I am 48 years old, and I am a widower. Chloe is my only child, and since my wife died 5 years ago, Chloe has been the sun, the moon, and every star in my sky. Dr. Thorne was, by all accounts, a local medical deity. He was the head of a prestigious neurology department, a published researcher, and the hospital's public face for fundraising. He had a reputation for brilliance, but also for cold, almost robotic efficiency. He was respected, feared, and utterly unchallenged. His confidence, when discussing Chloe's case, had been unnerving. He'd used phrases like highly experimental protocol and rapid intervention required, insisting time was a luxury we didn't have. I remembered the note, check the date on the Roman 4 bag. I leaned over Chloe's bed, pretending to adjust her blankets. My eyes darted to the large bag hanging on the stand, dripping colorless fluid into her vein. The label was complex, handwritten, and clearly marked with the medication name, the dosage, and the preparation date. I didn't recognize the drug name, but the date was crystal clear. ***, prepared 3 days** before Chloe's seizure***. That was impossible, unless this was a medication that had been sitting ready, waiting to be administered. But why? Chloe's diagnosis was sudden, an acute inflammatory event. You don't prepare a highly specific treatment for a patient who hasn't even had a seizure yet, unless you expected her to get sick. A cold certainty settled in my stomach, turning my fear into a hard knot of defensive rage. I straightened up, turning to face Dr. Thorne, who had just entered the room, radiating his usual air of controlled authority. "Dr. Thorne," I began, trying to keep my voice level. "Chloe seems stable for the moment. Can you walk me through the specific protocol again? I want to understand the rationale behind this medication. And, specifically, what is the Phase 3 trial that you mentioned to your colleague outside?" The change in Dr. Thorne was immediate and alarming. His perfect composure fractured. His eyes flickered, not toward the Roman 4 bag, but directly to my face, a expression of pure, calculating anger flashing before he quickly masked it. "Mr. Jensen," he said, his voice dropping slightly, becoming smooth and dismissive, "there is no Phase 3 trial concerning Chloe." That was simple medical jargon regarding the future potential of the treatment, nothing you need to worry about. As for the medication, it's a proprietary compound. It's an aggressive, necessary intervention. We prepared it as soon as we saw the preliminary biomarkers. On admission, a proactive measure, quite advanced. Now, we plan to discharge her tomorrow to a long-term care facility for continued monitoring. The note's third instruction slammed into me: "Do not let him discharge her tomorrow." I took a deep, steadying breath. "Doctor," I said, putting steel into my voice, "I am a retired investigative journalist. I understand jargon, and I understand preemptive procedures. This drug was prepared before her symptoms began, and Phase 3 trials are not jargon. They are the final stage of human testing for a drug awaiting approval. I need the truth, doctor. Is my daughter part of a clinical drug trial without my informed consent?" Thorne laughed. A dry, unnatural sound. "You're overwrought, Mr. Jensen. Chloe needs care that this hospital cannot sustainably provide. We are discharging her." He didn't deny the pre-preparation or the trial directly. He just tried to control the narrative. The realization hit me. Chloe wasn't just sick. She was a victim. And she was a valuable test subject. The moment I stepped out of the room, I immediately sought out Nurse Eleanor, but she was nowhere to be found. Instead, I found a young, nervous intern who confessed under pressure that Dr. Thorne was known for his off-label research and that there were hushed rumors of patients developing sudden, aggressive symptoms shortly after being screened by his team for his specific trial. A trial for a high-risk immunosuppressant designed to treat chronic autoimmune conditions, not acute seizures. The interns whispered that Chloe had been identified as a perfect match for the trial due to her rare genetic profile, and that her sudden seizure might have been an induced event, designed to push her into the necessary treatment window, thereby securing her participation in the study without needing my drawn-out consent process. The Roman 4 bag prepared 3 days prior was the smoking gun. The moment the symptoms appeared, the clock started on the treatment and the trial, bypassing the need for a legal signature. The discharge was planned to move her into a private facility, where Thorne could continue the trial in secrecy. The sheer audacity of the potential crime was staggering. I had to move instantly. If Thorne discharged her, I would lose all leverage and control over her medical records. I had to expose him now, so that's the situation I was in. I was an exhausted post-op father, fighting against a revered medical figure who had potentially induced an illness in my child to use her as a guinea pig for a high-risk drug trial, all while trying to rush her out of the hospital to conceal the evidence. My choice was terrifyingly simple. Do I confront Thorne publicly, risking the immediate termination of all care for Chloe by his massive department and potential career ruin for Nurse Elinor, or do I secretly gather more ironclad evidence, allowing Thorne to continue the potentially harmful treatment while I built my case? Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have prioritized the immediate cessation of the Roman IV drip? Or would you have chosen to secretly gather the evidence to ensure Thorne's total, irreversible ruin? Seriously, let me know what choice you would have made right there. I chose the surgical, evidence-based approach, maximum damage control and total exposure. I could not risk removing Chloe from the care of the entire department without ironclad proof, nor could I risk losing Nurse Elinor's support. I had to play Thorne's game for a few terrifying hours, pretending to be the overwrought father he dismissed me as. First, I found Elinor again, waiting for her outside the staff locker room. I showed her the crumpled note and simply said, "Thank you, I need more." She was terrified but resolute. She confirmed everything. Thorne was being paid a massive stipend by the pharmaceutical company to fast-track the trial, and Chloe was his perfect catch. She told me that the medication in the Roman IV was indeed the Phase III immunosuppressant, and that the only true evidence was in a secured research log he kept on his private desktop in his office, a computer that was left on during his rounds. She warned me that the discharge orders were already being prepared for the morning. My next move was brazen. I feigned a sudden, overwhelming panic attack in the main hallway near the nurse's station. I crumpled to the floor, clutching my chest and shouting about my pain, demanding immediate help. This created the perfect, frantic distraction. While two nurses rushed to assist me and unknowingly leave their station unattended, Elinor, who had been waiting, slipped away. She didn't go to Thorne's office. She went to the central pharmacy log, using the diversion to print the official ** batch production log ** for the proprietary drug, showing it was prepared in hospital lab 3 days * before * Chloe's admission. My surgical knee was protesting violently, but the pain was irrelevant. I had the ** proof of premedication **. Next, I needed the ** proof of financial incentive and clinical consent fraud **. I knew I couldn't access Thorne's desktop, but I knew who could. I called a former colleague from my investigative journalism days, a brilliant, morally flexible tech expert named ** Dave **, who specialized in white-collar cyber sleuthing. I gave him the hospital network credentials I had previously accessed during Chloe's initial registration, and I gave him 1 hour. Dave remotely accessed Thorne's private drive and retrieved 2 critical documents: the signed, massive ** consulting contract * with the pharmaceutical company, and the ** blank consent form **. Chloe's parents, dated 2 days after her seizure. The blank form, coupled with the premedication log, was the final, devastating piece of the puzzle. It proved intent to bypass consent. I moved immediately. I didn't go back to Thorne. I bypassed the entire hospital chain of command. I called the chief of hospital administration and the lead counsel for the state licensing board, sending them an immediate, encrypted email containing all three documents: Eleanor's batch log, Thorne's massive pharma contract, and the blank consent form. My subject line was simple: **, urgent, human experimentation and fraud in pediatric ICU, Dr. Thorne. The response was instantaneous and overwhelming. Within 15 minutes, a team of 3 administrative officials and 2 armed, unmarked hospital security guards descended on the ICU. Dr. Thorne was reviewing Chloe's charts, preparing the discharge paperwork. He looked up, confused, as the chief of administration, pale and furious, handed him a terse note. Thorne read it, and the blood drained from his face. He looked directly at me across the room, and there was no anger now, only a terrifying, black recognition of his total destruction. He didn't get to finish the discharge. He was escorted out of the hospital in silence, his career and reputation annihilated in less than an hour. He was charged with clinical fraud, felony endangerment of a minor, and multiple counts of ethical violation. Nurse Eleanor, protected by my careful anonymity, was hailed as a whistleblower internally, though she quickly found another job at a non-research facility. Chloe was immediately taken off the experimental drug. The entire neurology department was placed under a mandatory review, and a new, independent team of specialists confirmed that the mysterious encephalopathy had been a hypersensitive inflammatory reaction to the initial pretrial dose that Thorne had administered 3 days prior, effectively inducing the seizure to create the clinical need. Chloe was moved to a sister hospital and, after weeks of proper, non-experimental care, made a full and complete recovery. The pharmaceutical company's trial was immediately suspended, and they faced crippling lawsuits. I spent nearly all of my savings on legal fees to secure Chloe's future and protect Eleanor, but my daughter is alive and well. The house no longer feels safe, but it is a place of healing. I sold it 6 months later, not out of fear, but because I needed a fresh start away from the hospital's shadow. Chloe is thriving, and I have become her **, permanent and fiercely protective advocate **. I didn't just save her from a disease. I saved her from the ruthless ambition of a monster wearing a white coat. I never saw Dr. Thorne again, but I knew his fate. Justice was swift and total. The choice I made, to play the long game for ironclad proof, saved my daughter and ended Thorne's reign of terror. Like this video if you think my calculated approach to exposing Dr. Thorne was the right form of justice. Subscribe for more stories about hidden secrets and monumental betrayals. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section below. Do you think I should have risked intervening sooner, just to stop the Roman IV, or was the evidence more important? I'll see you all in the next story.